I'm not sure what the MVP award actually awards. But if I had to pick the guy who is the absolute most valuable to his specific team, I'm going with James Butler III. He has made it his business to not only put this Miami Heat team on his back time and again, but to plug any hole they need in the moment on either side of the ball. And if you haven't figured it out yet,
you don't tug on Superman's cape, you don't spit into the wind, you don't pull a mask off an old Lone Ranger, and you don't mess around with Jim.
The Heat stole home court advantage away from the Celtics in a never-ending chess match between Miami coach Erik Spoelstra and Boston coach Joe Mazzulla. And when you get to this level of the playoffs, you had better have a clear-cut focus on how to attack in the half court every single time down. Let's start by analyzing what the Celtics were doing that got them a robust 66 points in the first half on high-efficiency shooting with lots of assists. Their main focus was clearly attacking the Strus-Love pick and roll. What's interesting about this is that based on who they're guarding, it leaves Tatum and Brown as spectators on the weak side. No matter, as Strus allows Smart to reject the screen to the baseline, forcing Bam to rotate over and Jimmy to sink down. The beautiful look towards Tatum gets Jimmy to bite, and Rob Williams dunks. With Horford out early, the Heat match up in an interesting way, with Adebayo guarding Brown. Once again, Love hedges high to back Smart up. Bam touches Williams, then Vincent does, and now we get an unfavorable matchup for the Celtics, as Brown can't get anything going on his drive versus Bam. This was a bit of a strange cut by Brogdon as the Celtics tried to attack Strus and Love on the left side. Williams clearly wants the ball on the roll, but inadvertently sets a screen for Brogdon into the corner, who doesn't have much room at all but lights it up anyway. In the second half, Love radically changes his tactics and just drops back, and it helps when Horford can pull Strus out of the way to get Smart open for this 3-ball. The Celtics like to run this pin away into a curl for Tatum and Brown. Notice it's with Strus's man, and Caleb Martin should just go underneath this and hustle to stop a potential 3-point shot. Instead, it's an attack on the catch downhill with the retreating Strus who doesn't want to foul. Brown can also receive the pass instead of setting the screen, and now they can attack Strus with an open side of the court, and this is where the Celtics feel good about themselves.
But it's stronger than a country house, and when the bad folks all get together at night, you know they all call Big Jim Ball.
We all know Jimmy is the boss, and he hired Robert Williams to be his intern as he identified the weak link in this new starting lineup the Celtics went to in the previous round. Early on, we can see Jimmy calling for Williams' man to come up and set the ball screen for him, and I think this switch is just too easy. Williams guards Butler as if there was some sort of force field around him, and we get to see the original intent of the step-back jumper from 15 feet away. Here, Butler calls Bam over again to target Williams, and watch this excellent footwork. When you end the dribble with both feet off the floor and then land in a jump stop, you are allowed to pivot. Lifting the right foot means the left foot is the pivot, and it doesn't move until he jumps up into the air to shoot and draw a foul. Kevin Love has his own gravity because he can shoot the 3, and Williams points to Brogdon as if to say, please get around that screen so I don't have to deal with the ball. Brogdon almost gets there, but almost only counts in horseshoes and hand grenades. Williams must hold his position in front of the ball longer or else give up the layup. One idea is to blast Butler with an aggressive double team with hopes you can deflect the pass to Bam on the short roll. I can see why the Celtics would be afraid of a good passing big like Bam operating in space, but they simply cannot let Jimmy dictate so many possessions. He puts up that force field again, and Williams doesn't even stick with him or put a hand up on the little 17-footer. In transition, the Heat are fortunate to get this matchup without having to force a switch. Watch Smart switch with Brown on the weak side block, that's fine, but what type of defense is this? There was no need to turn your back and be blind to the ball, and then he has no idea that Brown properly rotated to help or that the ball was kicked to Martin in the corner. Smart did something similar in the second half. He had to pick up Strus in the corner, who had hit all of 1 3-pointer to this point. So I don't think he needed to turn his back on the ball to such an extent that he had no idea the shot went up. And then, after being late to react, he turns his back on the ball again when Williams was just trying to save it to him. The Marcus Smart experience, folks. Don't get me wrong, Smart made some great plays tonight as well, including this perfectly placed lob. But perhaps the reason why he's so all over the place is because he's not eating well enough. With the demands of an NBA season, I'm sure he's too busy to cook, so that's where Factor comes in, America's #1 ready-to-eat meal kit. They offer delicious, flavor-packed options on the menu each week to fit a variety of lifestyles, from keto to calorie smart, vegan and veggie, and protein plus. Prepared by chefs and approved by dietitians, each meal has all the ingredients you need to feel satisfied all day long while meeting your goals. And if you're looking to mix it up, you can add a protein to select vegan and veggie meals each week. I had been ordering way too much takeout recently, and Factor is actually cheaper and much faster as they're ready in 2 minutes. Avoid all the mistakes Smart makes by clicking on my link below at factormeals.com/bball50 and use code bball50 to get 50% off your first box. That's code bball50 at factormeals.com/bball50 to get 50% off your first box. I bet the whole Heat team opened up their boxes during halftime since they won the game in the third quarter by lighting it up for 46 points. Marcus Smart switches on to Strus, but as Love walks into the ball screen, Brown doesn't step up enough and he gets a sliver of daylight to splash this three for a 6-point lead. Just watch how Jimmy takes his time to survey the landscape to determine who he wants to attack. The whole offense switched to floppy sets in the second half, but after nothing comes to the pin down on the left side, he seeks out Derek White on the switch and turns the corner for the little floater. This was the moment where the game solidified for the Heat. The Celtics switched this pick and roll way too easily, and Butler again attacks Derek White. However, incredible recovery to basically go up with the same footwork as if he were shooting the layup. However, Jimmy doesn't miss a beat. He gets middle, catches White confused, and then does his best Steph impersonation by kicking, replacing to the corner, and if we can ignore the contact on this semi-screen Martin sets, we'd see Jimmy use the hop to find good rhythm for the triple. It was Brogdon's turn to screw up a rotation as they try to force Pritchard back onto Jimmy as a ball screener. Credit to Pritchard for trying to fight through, but it allows Lowry an opening. I like Horford rotating down in support, and Brogdon's only job is to close to whoever gets the pass. But how could he even consider taking a step in the direction of Zeller, the biggest non-threat we have seen in the series? Watch Max Strus's happy feet to maintain energy while he's waiting to just light up the wide open shot. There was some controversy over why Jason Tatum didn't get any touches down the stretch of this game, but I might be able to explain why. From the very start, he seemed tentative and disjointed in much the same ways we saw in Game 6 of the Sixers series as he missed this wide open layup. With the clock winding down, he doesn't have time to hold on to it when Horford kicks it to him in the corner. It looks like he might have traveled in a strange jab step ball snatch thing and then the weirdest hesitation before rising up to shoot. He then tries to dribble between two tough defenders, and Jimmy easily deflects it away into a steal. Against the Heat zone, he's got to know where the defenders are, and yet tries to Euro step right into Bam. And I think this should have been a charge, but this one ended up working out for them at a key moment in the game. In the third, he doesn't run Butler into the ball screen properly, and then Jimmy knocks his dribble into the backcourt. After retrieving it, he does beat Jimmy to the lane, but then blows the floater from 3 feet away, but is fortunate to draw the foul on the rebound. Deep in the fourth, desperately trying to rally with plenty of time left, they're able to force the matchup they want with Strus guarding Tatum, but he's unable to get by him and then tries to draw a foul before throwing a terrible turnover. The nightmare continued as he gets Strus on him again with the ball screen, but never sees Caleb Martin cut him off till it's too late and he takes too many steps. Then there was this doozy. The pass wasn't great, so he couldn't get it off as quick as he'd like, but to lift up into the air, then release the ball into a dribble? He actually did the same thing earlier in the game, but got away with it then. However, this time the refs got him, and the Celtics never recovered. The adjustment Mazzulla did not make was recognizing how well this lineup worked in the second quarter. With Brogdon in for Williams, they had great spacing, lots of playmaking, and most importantly, lockdown defensive ability. Considering how poorly Williams was defending in the first half, they should have started with this lineup coming out of halftime. Instead, Mazzulla didn't go to it until midway through the fourth. By then, the Heat had been on a 55-37 run in the second half. The Miami Heat's big adjustment is to find someone else besides Cody Zeller to play in the front court off the bench. If you look at his on-off numbers, it was staggering how much he hurt his own team in just 9 minutes. Bam Adebayo only played 37 minutes. I'd say get him up to 40 and then give Kevin Love 6 more minutes, and that should help. Game 2 is going to be crucial, but it was just confounding to me how they defended playoff Jimmy, considering how familiar they should be with how valuable he is. In a series where every possession is crucial, they took this song way too literally.
When you don't mess around with Jim,